Guys, yesterday I shared a video on the England Premier League match day 1 tips, and we actually predicted all the 10 fixtures for the Premier League. In this edition we are going to look at the La Liga match day 2 predictions. Alright, so we are going to look into each of these match, and we are going to use my long form prompt to do the analysis for each games. Now we have different section on these prompts, and there are ways that this AI will predict the games for us, but the most important aspect is always the advanced statistics projection section, and also the scoreline section. So this happens to be the two sections that I always look into for more insight. So we are looking into the match between Real Betis and Real Sociedad, and the most likely score that we actually have here is 2-1, and the alternative scoreline is 2-0, which shows that Real Betis happens to be the favorite team to win in this match. Now, if you want to derive your prediction from this based on my own opinion, you can actually drop yours in the comment section. Based on my own analysis and opinion, I'll be going for Real Betis over 0.5. That is the home team to score at least a goal in this particular match. And now for the next fixtures on the list, that is the match between Rayo Vallecano against Deportivo Alaves. So this is the match day 2. Yeah, we are going to look at the first section, which happens to be the projected statistics. For those people that loves to predict total booking, I will suggest this as over 2.5 booking. But looking into goal market, we are going to look into the predicted scoreline of this match. The most likely score that we have here is 1-1, and the alternative scoreline that we have here is Rayo Vallecano, that is Deportivo Alaves to win by 2-1. Now, my own final prediction on this is that the home team will not score more than 2 goals. The two correct scoreline that we have is 1-1 and 1-2, which shows that it will be a very tight match, although, and we shouldn't expect so many games. At worst, 5 goals. But the main prediction on this fixture is home team not to score more than 2 goals. Right now, for the next fixtures on the list, that is the match between Athletic Club against Sevilla FC. Let us look at the predicted scoreline. Alright, so what we have here in the predicted scoreline is that Athletic Club is actually expected to win this match, and the two other alternative scoreline that we have, which is 2-0 and 1-1. This is also another sign that this match should be a very tight game, but we also have alternative scenario for these fixtures. So we have 2-0, 1-1. Naturally, we can experience over 1.5, we can experience under 3.5. So this match seems to be a match that is kind of a little bit complex. Therefore, we are going for Sevilla, which happens to be the away team, under 2.5 goals. So Sevilla under 2.5 goals. Sevilla is not expected to score more than 2 goals in this match. Alright, now the next match that we have on the list is the match between Valencia against Celta Vigo. Now we are going to check the statistic projection, and also we are going to check the predicted scoreline. Now looking into this, we can see that the data is a little bit favoring the away team, which is Celta Vigo. And looking into the big chances that are expected to be created, that is 2.1 and 1.8. So without checking the predicted scoreline, I'm not really expecting so many goals in this match. But unfortunately, the predicted scoreline suggests goals, because the most likely scoreline that we have here is 2-2, and alternative scoreline is 2-1 and 1-2, which shows that there is high probability that anybody can actually win in this match, or the match should end up in a straight draw. It shows that this is a match that will be very tight, and it will be kind of a little bit difficult for us to declare who to win in this kind of a game. But with what we are having here in the predicted scoreline, we'll be going for over 1.5 goals. Now, proceeding to the next section, that is match between Espanyol and Real Madrid. Now, naturally, I believe that the favorite to win is naturally Real Madrid, but the situation here is not like that. Anything can actually happen, as we all are aware of this fact. Now, looking into the statistic projection, it is natural that we should be expecting more possession from Real Madrid, more shots on target, more corners, and some other data, big chances, and many more like that. However, looking into the scoreline, we have 0-2 as the most likely scoreline, that is 0-2, Madrid to win by 2 goals to nothing. But looking into the alternative scoreline, we also have 1-2 and 1-3, that is, there can be a chance for the home team to actually record a single goal in the match. But this will be the final prediction for this kind of match. The home team is not expected to score more than 2 goals. That is home team Espanyol under 2.5 goals. Now, next on the list is the match between Atletico Madrid against Villarreal. Alright, looking into the statistic projection, I believe that the data is actually favoring Atletico against Villarreal. Looking into the total shots and shots on target, and also looking into the total corners, and looking into the big chance expected to be created. But looking into the predicted scoreline, the actual primary prediction, the most likely scoreline is 2-1, and the alternative scoreline is 1-1 and 3-1. For those people that have interest in looking into multi-score, you can actually consider something like this. However, this looks like a little bit of a tight match, but in some other, if what we are expecting did not eventually happen, that is when we can experience a record of so many games in this particular, so many goals in these match fixtures. Now, this will be the final prediction for this game. Villarreal, which happens to be the away team, not to score more than 2 goals. Alright, so the second on the list is actually Getafe against Racing Santander. Okay, and let us quickly look into the statistics projection, and then we can see that Racing Club happens to be the favorite based on the data that we are currently seeing here. And looking into the predicted scoreline, we can see that this is expected to be an extremely low scoring match fixtures. So without stressing ourselves, the best option for this is actually under 4.5 goals. Naturally, you can explore under 3.5, but at the same time, I think under 4 it happens to be the safest and the most accurate. You can actually drop your own opinion in the comment section in case if you have any other options in mind for the match between Getafe and Racing Club. The next on the list is actually Elche against Barcelona. Yeah, naturally, without stressing, we should be expecting Barcelona to actually win the game according to, subjective opinion and using data to actually back this up. You can see the expected goals to be scored. Uh, the data is currently favoring the away team, which happens to be Barcelona. Looking into the possession, which I believe is actually natural. But looking into the statistic projection and also probability assessment, probability of winning, the home team only has 10% chance of winning. But looking into the predicted score line, we have the most likely score as 0-3 and alternative score line 1-3 and 0-2. So without stressing or without wasting so many times, the natural and the best option for this match is that Barcelona is expected to score, at least to score, Barcelona to score in this match. So Barcelona over 0.5 goals. Right now, so up next is the match between Osasuna against Levante. I believe this will be another tight fixtures between these two teams. Looking into the possession, this signals two teams that their strengths come close to each other. And looking into the probability assessment, although Osasuna has higher percentage or probability of actually winning the match, but the predicted scoreline will decide the final option. And looking into this, the most likely scoreline that we have is actually 2-1 Osasuna to actually win. And we also have the alternative scoreline, which is 1-0 Osasuna to win or 1-1 straight draw. Looking into this particular game, I will not really be expecting any team to actually score 3 or more goals in a row. But to be on a safer side, the best option that we can actually look into here is that Levante should not score more than 2 goals. The safest option here is Levante should not score more than 2 goals. I won't say we not because I won't be in total control of the match, but Levante should not score two more than 2 goals. So that is natural under 2.5 goals. So let us look into the last, or let me see if it is the next match fixtures. Alright, so up next is the match between Malaga CF against RC Deportivo de la Coruna. So we are going to look into what the AI we actually project. Alright, so I'll be checking the statistic projection. So looking into the possession here, you will already notice that this is supposed to be a very tight or close match fixture, whereby we are not expecting a particular team to really dominate so much like that. And you can see the probability assessment. The probability of a team winning, the percentage of it is kind of a little bit closer to each other. Now here comes the final predicted scoreline. The most likely scoreline that we have here is Malaga CF to actually win by 1 goals to nothing, and the alternative scoreline that we have is 1-1 and 2-1. However, in this match, there are two options that you can actually look into. Number one is any team to score 3 or more goals in a row, which is no, or the underdog, the expected underdog of this match, not to score more than 2 goals. And who is the expected underdog of this match? That is Deportivo de la Coruna. So that is the away team. So we'll be going for the away team under 2.5 goals. All right. So this happens to be the final match fixtures on the match day 2 of the La Liga fixtures. All right. You can actually drop your own prediction in the comment section based on your own opinion so far with the predicted score lines and the data that you've seen so far. Kindly drop your own opinion in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like our video, and also join our Telegram community for more daily updates and predictions, giveaway, and many more like that. See you guys in the next edition. Bye bye.